At Premier Health, our care lives where you are, with telehealth options available 24/7 and online scheduling for doctor visits. It lives close to home with primary and specialty care providers and convenient urgent care locations and hours. And it lives in our emergency rooms with access to the region's most experienced Level 1 trauma center. Our care lives in safe and easy access to the care you need the way you want it. Our care lives here. Premier Health.
Welcome everyone to our annual press conference for this year's Premier Health Flyin to the Hoop Basketball Invitational. I'd like to thank everyone for watching virtually today. My name is Eric Horseman. I'm president and founder of the event. Before we get started, I would like to thank SUVtv and Marcus Burnett for coming up from Atlanta today to live stream the event. Before we get into hearing from a few folks and the release of the schedule, you'll notice that things look a lot different today for our annual conference as opposed to having a packed room as we usually do. You can thank COVID directly for that. A few things regarding COVID this year, as a number of other major high school basketball events around the nation have already been canceled, we want this to go on. So just in a couple of comments, we've already had to change the schedule twice already because a lot of teams could not make it because of COVID implications. We are also going to be very limited on the number of paying spectators that we can have this year in the arena. Trent Arena right now is working on a waiver to increase that number, and we do have a couple of other venues as options in case that can't be done at Trent Arena. We will be working with both the state and local Department of Health to make sure that we are as safe as possible during these crazy times, but the show will go on. I'd like to say thanks to Miami Valley Hospital North and Premier Health for hosting the press conference again this year and with being our title sponsor. They will now take a second to welcome you accordingly. Here is Mary Garman, Chief Operating Officer for Premier Health.
Hi, I'm Mary Garman. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Miami Valley Hospital North. And I'm here today to talk to you about the Premier Health Flyin to the Hoop event. This is such a special weekend where athletes come from across the country to play basketball all weekend long. This program is part of our commitment to creating healthier communities. As we work with these nearly 40 school partnerships throughout the community, we provide athletic trainers who are there to evaluate and to train those athletes so they can be the best that they can be during their sporting events. Thank you for being here for this weekend event and enjoy the tournament.
All right, and now I'd also like to say thanks to another of our big sponsors, River Valley Credit Union, as our scholarship sponsor again this year. We're excited to hand out another deserving recipient an annual scholarship, so let's hear a few words directly from River Valley and Eric Gagliano, Senior Vice President at River Valley.
Student athletes, get ready to fly high and dream big with the Premier Health Flyin to the Hoop Scholarship sponsored by River Valley Credit Union. It's River Valley's mission to help the Miami Valley dream big. This is the 5th year that we've sponsored this $1,000 scholarship as a way to also help local athletes dream big. In fact, Sean Menker, last year's recipient, who went to Chaminade Julienne High School, is right now enrolled in the Sinclair UD Academy. We hope he gets back on the court soon when the world gets back to normal, but we know he's getting a great education. I look forward to reviewing all of this year's scholarships. It's awe-inspiring to see the character and the grades and the on the court skills of our local athletes. The scholarship application is on the Flyin to the Hoop website right now. You can go fill it out. Good luck to all the teams in this year's tournament, and good luck on this year's application.
Thank you, Eric, and I appreciate River Valley's support for that scholarship every year. Looking forward to giving it away to somebody else this year. A little look by the numbers this year before we actually look at this year's schedule. We now have over 70 past Flyin to the Hoop players that have made it into the NBA. Very proud of that number. I know that number is going to increase when they do have the draft here coming up. This year for our event, we had over 125 teams inquire about getting in. Some of those we do have on back burner because of all of the COVID implications. Like I said, we had to change the schedule around twice already and may have to do that again before January. So we ask that you please be patient with us as we're trying to navigate this just like everybody else is. As of now, we have 12 of the top 20 teams in Ohio participating, as well as many of the top 25 teams nationally. Like always, tickets will go on sale at noon today on our website. And remember, they're going to be in very limited quantity this year as we have seating restrictions, and we're trying to work on a waiver for that to increase those numbers. But before we unveil this year's schedule, one last speaker, Dr. Michael Barrow from Premier Health.
Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Barrow. I'm the Medical Director of the Sports Medicine Center at Miami Valley Hospital North in Dayton, Ohio. And it's my pleasure to be one of the ones that gets to welcome people to the Flyin to the Hoop tournament for this year. It's been a tournament that we have helped sponsor for a number of years now, and it started out at a very small level, and now it's one of the top high school boys basketball tournaments in the country. It's an awesome privilege for us to be able to do this, and it's a chance for Premier Health on our sports medicine program to be able to project our reach from not only just the Dayton area and Southwest Ohio, but over the nation. And during the course of all this, our goal is to make sure that we are taking great care of the athletes and giving them top-notch service as well as top-notch care. Obviously, with the advent of COVID, we're having to do things a little bit differently this year, but we will definitely be making sure that our athletes are kept safe and secure and taken well care of during this entire tournament. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
And now that we're back, the moment you guys have waited for, this year the dates again are January 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th of 2021 over MLK weekend. Here we are with this year's Premier Health Flyin to the Hoop schedule. And you can see that on your screen now as we want to talk a little bit about the schedule and some of the key matchups that we will go over. As of now, with the rosters that we do have, we have 7 5-stars participating and 17 4-stars participating. So as usual, we have a plethora of talent, some of the best that you'll see in the country, a lot of whom have already committed that we can get into that. But looking at the schedule on a daily basis, you can see, like last year that went over so well, we are going to start Friday night off with a bang, 2 major national powerhouse games with 4 teams that will be some of the best in the country. We're going to start off with 2 top 20 teams in the nation. A lot of people think these might be top 10 teams in the nation, with Hamilton Heights out of Tennessee that is coming back for the first time in a couple of years, playing La Lumiere, which is always a crowd favorite, out of Indiana. These teams are both loaded and should have national implications on the final rankings at the end of the year. We are going to end the night with ISA Andrews Osborne Academy out of Ohio that beat Hillcrest last year in a big matchup. They are going to be taking on Arizona Compass Prep in Arizona, who is by far one of the strongest teams in the nation as well. They just won a big event in Arizona this past weekend with some other top teams in the nation. They are playing very well, and there's quite a few 5-star and 4-star athletes to be watched on Friday night. Going into Saturday, we are again going to have a girls game, and we're going to have the Beaver Creek girls taking on the Springboro Panther girls to start things off. Right after that, you can see we have a little international flavor with the Beaver Creek boys taking on Crestwood Prep. Crestwood Prep, as many of you know, have Elijah Fisher, who is a 5-star and is ranked one of the top 3-4 kids in the nation for his grade level. Then we have 2 first-timers, I think, that Canton McKinley and Thomas Worthington. They'll be top 10 teams in the state of Ohio, are going to be taking each other on, coming down to Flyin to the Hoop for the first time. After that, crowd favorite Pick Central that always plays well against national teams is going to have their work cut out for them again this year as Pace Academy is coming back. Pace Academy is led by 5-star Matt Cleveland, and he just recently committed to Florida State. They are also considered one of the top 20 teams in the nation. Following the second to last game that night, we are going to have Lutheran East taking on Centerville. Both of those two teams are, again, tops in Ohio regardless of division. That should be a good Buckeye matchup. And we're going to end Saturday night. A lot of our fans indicated that they liked watching these national versus national games. We're going to end with two new first-comers. St. Louis Christian Academy out of Missouri is going to be taking on iSchool of Louisville in Texas. Some of their top players on each team. St. Louis Christian Academy has Jordan Nesbitt, who just committed to Memphis. iSchool of Louisville has Keontae George, a 5-star that is not committed yet. So all of our fans here are going to be able to watch those two go head-to-head. Going into Sunday's matchups, starting the day off, Massillon-Jackson coming back down versus Springfield. Springfield is under the new direction of my good friend Sean McCullough for the first year. Second game on Sunday, the Alter Knights here locally in Dayton are going to be taking on Bucknell. Bucknell, again, has Chris Livingston, who is ranked the 3rd best in his class, another 5-star that is uncommitted. So we'll get to see the Alter Knights take on Bucknell. 3 o'clock should be a great matchup. Trotwood locally, always a great team. We can put them up against anybody. Rocky knows that I have no fear that he will play whoever we put him up against well, and he will be taking on St. Ignatius, who is coming down for the first time. Again, they should be another top 10 team in the state of Ohio. Sunday, as usual, middle of the afternoon, we have one of the best, if not the best team in Ohio, St. Vincent St. Mary's, coming down again to take on powerhouse Dream City Christian out of Arizona that's flying across the country again to be here. They are loaded again and should be one of the top teams in the nation. So that'll be the tops in Ohio taking on one of the tops in the country, which will be good. After that, Chaminade Julienne taking on Yorkville Christian out of Illinois. They are a first-timer coming to the event. Yorkville has a kid by the name of Jaden Schutt that is a 4-star. He is being recruited heavily by the Big Ten, and I hear UD would like to take a look at him as well. And then we're going to round out Sunday with Wayne High School taking on Gahanna Lincoln, 2 Division I powerhouses that'll end Sunday with a bang. Going into Monday, have a little bit more national flavor this year for us than last year. We've got quite a few national teams coming in. First off, the Lovett School out of Georgia. This is their first time coming, is going to be playing Bishop Fenwick here locally, which is their first time playing. A little celebrity status with Lovett School out of Georgia. Their #1 star is Ryan Mutombo, who is a 4-star athlete that just committed to Georgetown, and yes, before you ask, he is the son of Dikembe Mutombo, the NBA Hall of Famer. So there might be some finger wagging going on at the Flyin to the Hoop this January. Second game on Monday, we are going to go ahead and have another national matchup. Premier Academy out of Texas that's loaded with some international kids, new on the scene but very talented, is going to be taking on Dream City Christian, and Dream City will be playing their second game of the weekend Monday at 1. Middle of the afternoon on Monday, we have Lima Shawnee that did very well last year heading into the playoffs. Should be a very good team again heading into this year against Dayton Dunbar that's back on the scene after having a couple of year hiatus from the Flyin to the Hoop event. Second to last game on Monday, we have our small school matchup that's always a big hit with the crowds. We have Botkins High School for the first time ever taking on Ottoville, who was here last year, very much enjoyed the show. And then rounding out the weekend, as always, we have the host school, Kettering Fairmont, taking on Taft High School out of Cincinnati and 5-star Rayvon Griffith. So there you have it this year, 19 games, 37 teams, 4 days over the Martin Luther King weekend. Would like to say that a lot of work went into this. I appreciate the coaches for their patience. I know we've had a later than normal press conference, making sure that everything is right. In closing, I'd like to say that it's important for everyone to keep tabs on additional tickets that we may have available, COVID updates, schedule changes, and other notifications. You can check out our website, flyintothehoop.com, or our social media accounts on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search Flyin to the Hoop. The bottom line is this: we are going to do whatever we can to get as many fans safely in the venue as possible. But having said that, we will also be streaming every game live this year thanks to SUVtv, and that link for signing up will also be available on our website at 11:30 or noon today. Here we go, albeit different, year number 19. Thank you for your continued support and look forward to seeing you at the games.
At Premier Health, our care lives where you are, with telehealth options available 24/7 and online scheduling for doctor visits. It lives close to home with primary and specialty care providers and convenient urgent care locations and hours. And it lives in our emergency rooms with access to the region's most experienced Level 1 trauma center. Our care lives in safe and easy access to the care you need